paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, yeah, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Listen, I will do that damn voice this entire episode. Is that what you want? I think it is what you want. That would be good.
I haven't
actually.
got to this part of
We
the
should do a whole
hostage
episode where I'm
negotiation
just
class.
Joe Pesci the whole time.
I have not got to this part of the hostage negotiation class yet. I'm not sure how to respond to that.
You're taking hostage negotiations classes?
Yeah, it's called podcasting with you every week.
Burn. Not
This
really.
is
a burn,
not a
Corbin.
what?
It was a burn. It was a
No.
burn. It was a great one.
No.
The name of your hostage negotiation class isn't Hostage Negotiating 101. The class is called Podcasting with You Every Week. How are people supposed to know when they sign up for that in the course catalog that is not a podcasting class? That's a bad name for the course. And your joke wasn't funny. What's podcast? Or hostage negotiate, as you like to say.
And welcome into Brainstorm Brewery, everybody.
Keep that in, JJ. The
That's
people need to hear
Jason.
what I deal with.
That's Jason Alt there with the cold open intro. Welcome in to the show, everybody. I'm Corbin Hosler. We are joined,
And I'm Joe
as
Pesci.
always, by our third member, Douglas
You know how many
DJ
takes on the set of
Johnson.
Home Alone I ruined?
And tonight we have a very special guest. We have Joshua Krause from Original Magic Art joining us again on the show. Welcome back.
Oh, listen. Great to be here.
Yeah, we're always glad to have you on.
Listen.
We're going to catch up with whatever you're up to, and Jason's gonna. You know what, Jason? Just go ahead, buddy. Just go ahead.
No, it's too late. The beer was really noisy. It was making this really pleasant, like, fizzing noise, and I wanted you to hear it. I had my beer up to the mic, and I said, listen, and you're like, "Bleh."
Well, listen to this, everybody.
I'll go
Jason-
get another beer. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
you
drink this
think
one real fast.
you filthy casuals at home, you might think, I sit down at night, I have a Brainstorm Brewery glass, I drink beer out of this. I'm basically doing it. But here's the thing I
You're doing
learned
it.
tonight. Jason has a cooler in his desk.
It's not a cooler. It's a cup holder that is.
It's a cup
also
holder.
cooler.
It's a cup holder cooler.
with metal at the bottom and a fan that cools that metal so your drink stays real chilly.
That's some tech. I've never seen that in a desk, I have to say.
Yeah.
That's some
but
finance
the desk
right
is
there.
fully, actually, if the power goes out, I can't sit at the desk. That's the one drawback, but I do like the cup holder.
If the power goes out, why would you need to sit at your computer desk, Jason?
Exactly.
Because you're
Well, I
waiting for it
can't.
to come back on.
Yeah.
Clearly.
When
That's
you-
what
when
we
we-
do as in
What do you
this
stare at your
society.
television instead of staring at
Yeah.
your computer while you wait for the power to come back on?
When we were in, I let Ben take the Switch. I let my 6-year-old take the Switch to family Thanksgiving with the side of the family that's really boring. And at some point, since they live out in the middle of nowhere, the wind got a little windy and the power in the whole neighborhood went out. Because that's what happens when you live on a county road. But my kid just sat there in the dark playing on his Switch while everyone else was sad. And I was like, I love the city and technology.
It's very
Couldn't
cool.
live out
Lily
here.
didn't want to
Couldn't
read a
live out
book
here.
by a flashlight, and I was like, you're going to hate Girl Scouts.
Well, we've got a lot about Magic to talk about. M30 has come and gone. We're going to hopefully never have to speak of it again. But here's one. Between the time we record this podcast and the time this podcast releases, the entirety of Dominaria Remastered will have been previewed because it's all a full set is getting previewed in the span of like 24 hours or something. So how's that for you, Jason?
Well, there's another preview season kicking off on Friday, so they got to condense the whole set into
Gotta
a
get
week,
it
and
in.
everything sucks so bad. Stop doing this to me.
I think it's interesting that the online narrative has come around to basically repeating what Jason's been yelling for 6 years or whatever at this point on this podcast. Just saying. I got to give you credit for being ahead of the curve on the
I'm ahead of the curve a lot
that
because
particular one.
I went from I like playing hardcore legacy on EDH to like, oh, these are the only people worth trading with in about 6 months, and now look at me.
Well, let's move on a little bit. Josh, let's catch up with you. For those who don't know, Original Magic Art is, of course, somewhere we've worked with in the past, somewhere that you can go to get amazing art. We talked about the Foglio portfolio and really cool projects in the past. And Josh, you have we figured we want to check in with you on sort of what the what 2022 has been like for the for the art market for OMA, and what you're looking forward to in 2023. So how you been, man? What's been up?
It's been really good. I ran since the last time we talked, the Foglio portfolio project did really well. Ended. We're still working on the artwork for it. We should be getting that out early next year. We're running a Kickstarter right now for Victor Adams Minguez. He wanted to do some playmats, and I was like, hey, these are awesome. He did his secret lair. He wanted to do playmats. I was like, these look great. Let's do a Kickstarter. It's perfect for it, and we're off to a good start. We're about halfway through the project, and we just added on Grist the Hunger Tide, and he's busy getting the artwork extended. We just added on his Platinum Angel that he extended, and he has an extended Traxa. So all the artwork that the backers are voting for, he's extending the artwork for them to make them unique and only available through the Kickstarter.
Of all the 62 secret lairs that came out this year, which one was his?
That's what I was
Lord of the Undead, Knight of the White Orchid, Compost, Night Exemplar, and something else I forget.
I did not know that any of those cards had a secret lair.
Yeah,
I was going to say that, and then I thought DJ was going to give me for not keeping up with the latest secret layers, but
because that's who gives
I'm
people
right there with you
for that kind of thing. DJ.
The value is real rough on that set. I'm real rough, but the art's great. So I was like, we're definitely doing this. And then I've already got projects lined up for next year. I think I have 3 or 4 lined up. I have one for Nils Ham, which I'm really excited about, coming out early next year. Then we're going to do another Johann Voss project because he has his first project did really well, and he's come out with some great art since. Obviously this was 8 sets ago, so about 2 months ago we had Dominaria United with his planes, with that Karn in the foreground and that big portal, beautiful. So I've got a lot of requests to do that one, and we're going to be reprinting the mats from the first set, so that project will be really cool. And then I hope to do the Pride playmats for the Pride project. I'd hoped to do that earlier this year, but looks like that might be next year. We'll be able to get that done. But busy. But the art market has been down recently. Active, everything's still selling. We're not seeing too many things go bidless, where we were seeing that a little bit a couple months ago. But now prices, where things that were selling for 3 to 5 are now selling for 2 to 3 to 4. So just in general, things are down, kind of cooled down in the market. But it's you guys. We have a reprint set coming in the next 48 hours. We're going to see 200 pieces of art, which will probably be 50 or 60 pieces of new art. And for what we've seen, it's going to be mostly traditional artwork. So the art market is going to be absolutely flooded with new artwork. So there's just going to be a clogged toilet of great art just being being shoved through the market. So if you're were interested in getting magic art, you might be able to snag something, because being able to digest a whole set's worth of releases within a week or two. I mean, the agents will spread it out, but even so, you get the holidays, and so it might actually be a good time to look at. I know I'm looking to pick up some pieces to build my art cube, or to help build it.
You're going to have to explain that one. What does that mean for anyone at home?
So I have a lot of magic art. I have over 600 pieces of magic art. Over
Amazing.
600 cards worth. If individual pieces is probably somewhere north of that. And so I never really had a theme to my collection. I tried slivers, and I tried elves, and I tried random things. Nothing really stuck. So I just kind of
Did you try Merfolk, or is Corbin going to insist that you try Merfolk? Because that's what'll work.
I did own a Merfolk sketch. I since traded it, so I think I am Merfolk free.
The dream died for me when I found out I couldn't get Silvergill Adept. That's all.
Yeah. I think those are all digital.
It's digital.
But so then I was like,
So
I
it
came up
seems
with the idea
really
of
easy to get a copy of it then. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, just
How
go
many
print it.
I
NFT
wanted
board apes I
original
have?
magic art, Jason. Not
Right.
a print of original. I wanted an original Silvergill. Would have been so cool. DJ has his own cool pieces.
Get
right?
the
That
NFT
meant
for
something.
Silvergill Adept.
I didn't want to say it. We didn't want to say it.
I have
Yeah, but,
Talisman
like,
of Hierarchy and Golgari Locket, and if anyone is interested in buying either of them, you can email the podcast.
What? Why would you sell the talisman? That was your preview card, DJ.
I only
Get outta
have
here.
bad mana rocks. Boros
What the
Cluestone
heck?
in my collection. Manolith right up on my wall.
Hey, Manolith is probably cool.
Corbin, it sounds like if you want to keep this piece in the family, you might need to
Okay.
scrounge some funds together.
Okay. Remember the last time I tried to buy something from DJ, he just straight up told me no.
What?
Just for the record. I wanted to buy a secret lair. I wanted to buy an advent calendar from DJ, and he just told me no.
I wanted to buy an advent calendar from Wizards, but I was driving during the 12 minutes it was on sale.
Oh man. Well, anyway, Josh. So what's your take, I guess, on the last year of Magic, sort of from your perspective, right? So like from, and I don't want to say like the art side or anything like that, but just you obviously work with a lot of artists.
Pigeonhole me
and
as a guest.
You have insights into obviously a lot of just sort of corners of the Magic world that we don't. So I guess what are you hearing when it comes to just sort of is the pace affecting the artist community? Is the amount of, is any of that sort of transfer over, or is it just, just kind of life as usual for collectors?
Yeah, it's definitely, I think one of the reasons you're seeing kind of a downturn in the market is that there's just so much art available. Not only from the new sets, you're also seeing, as people normally do, they move on, and so they'll unload their collection. It just kind of adds to the amount of art available. And while the art market itself is growing, I think the main Facebook group is above 17,000 people now, which is a strong sized group. Even so, there's only so much artwork that they can keep absorbing. There's only so many resources available, and so you see with the pace of sets, there's going to be, I think, between release of Dominaria Remastered and Phyrexia All Will Be One is 21 days in between. That's crazy. 2 large sets. Releasing within 3 weeks of each other is just bananas. And maybe there'll be a lull of a month or two after that. I hope so. But I just, it's a lot. I thought that when Double Masters 2022 came out and it was close to another set, and all those sets came out pretty close, I was like, well, are we going to be able to absorb this? What are we going to see? And things went for less than we were seeing when we were in like pandemic height of everybody's buying every collectible around. You were seeing like Kaldheim. It's been funny to see Kaldheim pieces come back on the market because people that was selling right during the pandemic, people were paying a lot. There wasn't that much Magic art available, and so everyone's that's selling pieces now is getting like half of what they paid for it. But that's kind of just the risk you take with any new art. You pay a premium for a new set. And you're seeing a little bit less of that now because there's just the art's not selling for as much as it used to. But it's still, I think all the concerns and the feedback that you're getting from card collectors, you're seeing from art collectors as well. It's just there's a lot. There's so much.
Interesting.
And art being so expensive, even people that have significant resources available are like, well, I was expecting to have a little bit more time to build up my my treasure chest to be able to get some. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, and this is just, I guess, my own take. I have no idea if this is backed by any kind of data or anything like that, but it seems to me people who collectors in general, whether it's art or anything else, kind of enjoy the chase, right? Of figuring out this is what I want to get, this is what I want to do with it. It's a whole sort of process, and that process typically probably takes longer than the 24 hours or whatever you get with a set these days.
And Jumpstart 2022 just came out.
Yeah.
It just came out. Wasn't it last Friday?
Brothers War just came out. Okay, I've done like 2 drafts. It's brand new to me. I'll try to play it over Christmas. Well, it's good to hear that. I say
Every
good
time
to
I
hear.
go into my LGS,
yeah.
I'm buying 5 new EDH decks. It's like every week. It's too much.
5 new ones just came out.
So go ahead and explain to people who at home, what is probably then in this sort of, especially, this is not Magic related specifically, but the topic of AI art has been a big deal across the internet recently. From your perspective as someone who works with artists, and the OMA store does a lot to support artists, obviously, what is the best way for people at home to support their favorite artists? Of course, going to originalmagicart.store and using the Brainstorm Brewery Brew Crew, I believe, promo code is one way to do that. But yeah, I mean, from your perspective,
the only way
people want
to. It's the only way to go. Come on.
Well, I just wanted to open the floor, and if somebody wants to, what's the best way to interact with this sort of both the market and your favorite artists?
I mean, obviously, it's going to need some form of regulation to regulate the artwork that goes into the engines that are, feeding these AIs. But that's going to take years, and it's always going to be behind the ball. They're always going to be moving faster. I'm still learning about it myself, but it appears like Stable Diffusion, one of the engines was created by a nonprofit. So since it's a nonprofit, they were able to use copyrighted material to feed the AI. But now companies are contracting with this nonprofit and using their AI to then make commercial works based off of copyrighted materials.
It's a tax status, not
right. And so your people are abusing the AIs that are out there, at least the information that they're pulling from. And it's so funny to watch on Twitter where people are like, oh, they're just sharing this. Oh, actually, well, they made this new AI that got around the restrictions they put on this old AI, so you can still pull out Greg Rutkowski's, which is one of the main artist that is known for people stealing his artwork. You can still pull his artwork from this AI because they removed it from this other one. And then people are just like publicly posting like, oh yeah, well, if you don't like Greg Rutkowski and you can't get access to his art, well, use Titus Lunter's artwork. He's in the same style and you can pull his artwork from this AI. So it's a little maddening to watch all the people being like, yeah, I really like this artwork by this artist, but I don't want to actually pay anything to get anything created by him because, yeah. So I'm not really a big fan of how it's being used. I think it's very predatory, extremely predatory, and then all the people that are using it that are just like, oh, LL, you need to be able to spend more time, get better. We're going to just write better prompts, and you're seeing people that are writing prompts getting angry, and people are copying their prompts or asking for their prompts. It's crazy.
And art, I think, to differentiate itself from anything that can be generated from a computer is going to have to get real crazy, even with like a weird new medium or something completely original to do within the art form just to stake out a spot where human contribution to art actually feels unique.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's 10 years ago, we were like watching that was that movie I, Robot, where Will Smith's like, could you paint a picture? And the robot's like, no, I can't. And then now it's like, no, definitely.
Movie's more than 10
also,
years
we
old,
have,
Jason, but I get your
deep
point.
fakes of Will Smith saying, yeah, but like the deep fake stuff bothered me in like 2015. I was seeing really crazy.
That's incredible.
Like real time deep fake stuff.
Jason, iRobot is 20 years old, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about 10 years ago when they were showing, it was like Keegan-Michael Key was doing a thing where they put someone else's face over his. It looked like Obama.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I was like, man, this is terrifying. And then in 2016, that Billy Bush Trump video came out and no one cared. And I was like, oh, I guess we don't have to worry about deep fakes. Like, Trump isn't like, wasn't me, it was a computer. It's like, yeah, I said that. Who gives a fuck? Like, I love that. We don't even care about deep fakes because, like, it came along late enough that nobody cares.
Nobody cared originally. Team. Yeah, it's like, what if people lie on video? What if they use a deep fake to lie on video? And you're like, no one No one cares if anyone. No one cares. I understand.
I don't know. I think if deepfakes were really that good, nobody would be talking about Hunter Biden's laptop. You could just deepfake him doing something.
So, Josh, as far as the, I mean, hopefully, I mean, it seems like that's something everyone's going to have to contend with, and I hate to hear that magic artists have been targeted in that. You know, I personally am someone. Look, and I own. Obviously, I have like cards on my walls, which obviously feature the artwork, but you know, I don't have a ton of prints or anything like that.
Are we really
up on
surprised?
my walls? But I appreciate that. It's about, like, to me, the collectible of it. It's about appreciating everything that goes into it, right? It's not about.
Says
It's
the guy
not
with
about
the
the 5 seconds
For a
I
lot of
spend
people,
on.
it's not, Corbin.
AI,
for
man.
the $1,000 booster packs, well, proxy everything. This is the art equivalent of proxy everything.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Well, all right, fair enough. Well, there you go, everybody. At the very least, you can still support your artists if you go to OMA originalmagicart.store. Use the Brew Crew promo code. All right, let's move on to the game which, for years now, has had one contender and several also rans. It's time for Breaking Bolt.
Breaking Bolt time. Breaking Bolt time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
You're not going to say Pretender?
No, that felt like a little too obvious.
Corbin, who among us?
Among Us?
Who among us is the contender?
We know who
That's
he
up-
thinks.
I know, but I want him to say it before I name my
DJ.
card.
DJ. That's up to the listeners. Because the listeners are always right.
If you listeners and or viewers want to put a note in the comments and then start a little poll amongst yourselves, I have a white rare from Mirage that Corbin's gonna guess like right now, right? Like you're just so good at this.
Abeyance.
How many printings?
Abeyance.
Is it a griffin? Is it golden feathers or whatever?
No, it's not a griffin.
Celestial Dawn?
No.
Celestial Dawn is reprints.
Corbin, Abeyance is from Weatherlight,
Yeah.
so...
Whatever, man.
Zuberi Golden Feather?
Actually, is Abeyance from Weatherlight? Is it Prophecy?
Yes, Abeyance is Weatherlight.
It's Weatherlight.
There's like 3 cards in that set.
Is it Zuberi?
It is not Zuberi.
That's... Yeah.
This card
Echo
spiked.
Chamber?
This card spiked with a release of Call Time, and it has slowly gone down to $2. Corbin, any...
No one knows what's in Mirage,
Sacred
I know
bro.
what's in
Mesa?
Mirage.
No, that's been reprinted. Is it only print in Mirage?
This,
I
this
speak
is
Is
for
it a
the
creature?
Zoomers.
Is it a creature?
It is not a creature.
That narrows it down. Soul Echo?
No, but I just found out about that card for my Selenia deck. It's very good in my Selenia.
Is this a card that your machine pulled, DJ?
I don't think so.
He
I don't
cranked
know
the
how
rare
this card
threshold to
appeared on my
11
desk.
cents and it went nuts.
I genuinely don't know how this card appeared on my desk, but it is.
How much is
here.
it?
$2. And it spiked to 8 around Call Time.
Call Time gave us snow, it gave us dwarves, it gave us elves, it gave us clones, it gave us
Gods.
the
It gave
thing
us,
where you pay some
it
of the you
gave
put
us-
the spell
listen.
in layaway. What's that called?
It gave us Foretell. That's a cool mechanic,
Spirits. White was spirits, and man, I don't know.
I don't think you're
Listen,
gonna guess
Call Time.
this.
Call Time also gave us one Phyrexian thing, right? Wasn't there a Phyrexianized green card in that set?
Vorinclex?
Vorinclex.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
Vorinclex.
Vorinclex, yeah. So, like, I don't know. Does that help you, Jason? Does that make you
It doesn't.
think, like,
You know what, DJ? I don't know, man. It's a bulk rare from 1997. You got me.
Correct. This card was a bulk rare for a while, and then it spiked to around $1 in 2018. This is Jabari's Influence. It is
Oh,
a
I
white
love that card. Play only after blockers are declared. The creature gets a -1/-0 counter. Gain control of it after combat.
The only thing you missed is that it cannot target artifact or black creatures, but you got it right.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's like 5 mana for that.
It is a
Listen,
Good
it
for
is
you,
the most
Jason.
75% guy card ever. I love stealing people. I play
It is a
Evangelize in EDH.
This is a very, very weird mind control in white. I don't know why it spiked during call time. I went to EDH Rick. The card is played in Killian and Perry the Pulverizer, neither of which were released in call time.
Probably because it's from 1997.
But it might not have been cold time. It might just have been like the supply tipped or somebody. I don't know.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is that it's just this card that has never been reprinted, and
Because everybody was just buying weird reserve list rares at that point. And this isn't reserve lists, I don't think, but like they were buying Catacomb Dragons and other weird from Mirage.
well, before we say whether or not it's on the reserve list, I would like to find out if it's on the reserve list.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's a card on the reserve list whose name I wouldn't recognize by now. I used to make those mistakes a lot 10 years ago. I said
never
Sentinel
heard of this.
Hierophants was on the reserve list, but it's actually Sentinel Centaur, a 6/3 Echo with Shroud?
It is on the reserve list.
What?
Okay, well, there you
So-
go.
Jabari's influence on the reserve list.
It was
I guess
Rudy's
that explains it
influence
as well
is
as
what this
anything
was.
else.
This was Rudy's influence, not Jabari.
No.
It is next to Jungle Patrol and Hivus of the Scale.
Hibis of the Scale is a legit card, baby. Love that.
Can't believe I didn't guess this one. All right.
Well,
I'm
I
going to
actually
give
do
you-
feel
Go ahead,
stupid. I
Jason.
should have gotten that one. So
Yeah,
you know
you
what?
might have. I'm going to give you all an incredibly easy one. So for everybody listening,
a Parallel Lives that had dried and then had more Red Bull poured on it. How much is that? Is that a bulk rare yet?
Jason, you
how-
can't bring that up.
How
It's too
much
soon.
to send me just a top loader full of Red Bull and card swill? How much for a Parallel Lives that
How
I
about
have
this,
to play
y'all?
in a liquid tight case forever?
I'm gonna send me the art send me the cards that with that you don't want to support, and instead of writing down them all,
send Corbin
I'll just put them in a Red Bull bath.
Invoke Prejudice and Eternal Witness and Force of
I'll
Will.
put it
just
like a vat. I'll put them in a boiling vat of Red Bull.
I'm just picturing like a magic snow globe, like you shake it and it floats around and like.
I actually said that I was going to get my friend's Jace Schlager as a groomsman gift, and nobody knows what Goldschlager is anymore. That's how old that reference is.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
It's got the gold.
but like Fireball's got country music, so nobody cares about Goldschlager anymore.
Fair. That is fair. Fireball was strictly better.
I think
Goldschlager.
Jace Schlager Jace was worth more than its weight in gold at that point. So I thought it was a very generous groomsman gift to get them Jace Schlager.
All right, so everyone playing along at home for Breaking Bulk here. This is a very classic Breaking Bulk pick. So I'm going to count to 5 after I say this here. So we'll give people at home a chance to play along. Maybe JJ can play the music, but this is a classic.
You're bragging about what a lazy pick this is. I want you to know that.
No. I just wanted to look. DJ's trying to stump me, and I'm trying to provide value to our listeners who will not have any of Mirage from 1997 at their house.
Mirage.
Mirage. But they
What are you,
might
a
have.
cartoon dog.
What do you
They
Nick
might
Kroll?
have-
Hey, it's
but
Coach
they-
Steve. I got a Mirage over here. This is the only voice I can do, guys.
I
My
almost got
dad's
through that.
wealthy.
I almost got through it. All right, it's a Scars of Mirrodin Black Common. 1, 2,
Tainted
Jeopardy
Strike.
music.
It's Tainted Strike.
It's Tainted Strike. For those who don't know, Tainted Strike.
Who
is
doesn't know? That's why this is not a good breaking bulk. Hey, you know how you're always bulking out Tainted Strike? No, I've never done that. Oh, okay. Well, I do.
Jason assuming that. I would say Jason. Scars of Mirrodin, buddy. That was a minute ago. And as we are moving back into Phyrexia, all will be one. The poison's coming back in some form, we know. So I don't know what that means for your tainted strikes of the world, your infect cards, whatever. But it's an $11 foil.
Corbin.
It's a $1 common. Tainted strike's a good piece.
Corbin. What was closer to Scars of Mirrodin, Mirage or Present Day?
Scars of Mirrodin, it's present day, easy.
Are you sure?
Scars of Mirrodin, my guess would have been like 2011. Let's see how close I am. Scars of Mirrodin release date October 1, 2010. So I was a couple months off, but certainly closer to present day than 1997, but barely. I'll give you that.
Mirage
Wow,
was
that's-
96, by the way.
So Scars of Mirrodin's like the midpoint of Magic history. Oh, that makes me
That's
feel like a
that is
fucking
wild.
fossil.
That's wild to think about right there.
God.
That's almost true. It's not
Listen,
true
I
yet,
had to
but
tell
it's
my
almost
daughter.
true.
She asked how long I've been playing Magic: The Gathering.
you
I
say
had
it
to
daughter is
admit,
7 for the record,
that I've
yeah.
been playing for 26 years, and then she laughed and she said, "I beat you my second game."
Well, she's 7, Jason, so clearly...
She's 6. She'll be 7 in a matter of months.
There you go. How was it, by the way? How was teaching Magic to the 6-year-old?
My wife walked by and remarked that Lily picked it up faster than my wife had.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Hey, kid, kids got those brains, man. They can pick up anything.
Yeah. Because I've only ever taught adults to play Magic, and it's just like 2 colors and a black versus a colorless and 2 black. Sometimes picks people up, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
she's just like, she just got everything.
Yeah.
She grasped everything intuitively, and that felt really gratifying to me, like as a parent, because I would love to be like, oh yeah, my genes did that. And also, just as someone who wants to share Magic with somebody who's jazzed about it because she found out there's unicorns, she wants a Ren and Siri deck and a Lithial deck. So like, I'm gonna be busy.
Ren and Siri? Oh, the cat dog thing.
Ren
Yeah,
and
Ben
Stimpy,
is Ben's got them. I haven't tried teaching him, but when he sees me play on Arena, he understands the mana symbols and the lands, and
he's ready.
It's
man.
cool. It's cool.
If
It's
he's
cool
into
teaching
it,
him, yeah.
he's Jumpstart's such a good way to teach him too.
That's a good idea, honestly. And in fact, that's, at the risk of us backtracking on our "there's too many products" talk. The Jumpstart packs are pretty good at teaching. They're similar.
Well, they're bad. The set is bad compared to Jumpstart 1. The set is pretty bad.
Sure.
But as far as it works as a Jumpstart, I don't know. I got Unlucky 13 as one of my things. I'm like, I'm not giving you this. It's like, oh yeah, once you do a bunch of like shenanigans trying to loop stuff with like Corpse Devour to like have them
to
lose
get
a
to your
life and you
Triska.
gain a life to get it exactly 13. I'm like,
So for Triskaidekaphobia, right? For people who
yeah,
don't know.
like she
Yeah.
she understands that she needs to tap mana and that she's never had an upkeep or seen an artifact. So I'm not going to give her a lucky number 13 deck. So some of them aren't very jumpstarty, if you ask me. It's like I have a Dogs and Pirates deck, and now it's like, ooh, the concept of scrying plus Transformers cards. There's a Transformers secret layer. Like I don't know. I feel like all the stuff that's supposed to sell the packs is bad. There's like no Allosaurus Shepherd, and
It was Allosaurus
there's no
Shepherd, yeah.
what did I call him last week? Spooky Bones. There's no like Tiny
Tiny
Bones in those
Bones.
one either.
Brewback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brewback too.
Crater-
Yeah, that was.
I think
that was
Craterhoof
great.
was in those packs as well, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Crater-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jumpstart 1 was good. It was
It had
very
Ristic
good.
Study, remember?
Yeah, and plus all
This
those
has Ristic
misprints,
Study.
plus
Oh, no,
all
this
the
doesn't.
lands that were the misprinted basics. Those were lit. So
It
yeah,
was a product. for
Jumpstart
sure.
1 had everything.
Jason, do you have a breaking bulk for us?
Hell to the yeah, I do. And you guys are gonna me realize that this card is $2 already. From the Magic the Gathering set starter commander decks. Commander 2017 is what it's called. Oh, so it's in starter and commander 2017. All right.
Wait.
Good, I got it.
It's in Starter 99?
It's called something called starter commander decks. I don't know what that is.
The starter. That's the new commander decks. That's the 5 decks that just released.
Oh, okay. Well, this card just got reprinted and it's still $2.
So its original printing is C17.
Its original printing is Commander 2017. It's a green uncommon.
Uh,
Well, having not seen the...
is it the one that brings back a wizard or vampire?
No, it's green.
Green.
So,
Green.
yeah, I'm trying to remember what 2017 was for decks.
Green C17.
Commander.
It's a cat card.
It's a little... It's like a
It was
little
Edgar.
shield
Yeah, it
thing,
was.
right?
It was Edgar Markov, Ur-Dragon, Miri. It was in the Miri deck, I think.
Well, uncommons were usually in 2 decks, but
Well, then it was probably.
Kasali Slingers? No, that's a secret
It's
layer.
not white. Also, was Kaswali Singers green white or just?
it's a.
It's not that.
It's just
Mono green uncommon from C17.
It is a non-creature. If this card just got reprinted today, it's possible this price is going down, so maybe don't pick this up.
Is this
Well,
the
you still
cat
probably
that
wanna
ETBs
pick on, right?
naturalizes
Yeah.
something?
It's Curse of Bounty.
It's not. He said it's not a creature, right?
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Curse of Bounty. So, like, I'm just going to cut this short because, like, yeah, I didn't realize there was another product out today. Jesus. Like, it's our job to know that.
It came out at the same time as Jumpstart 2022, I think.
I know, like, which we had to do a full push on reviewing all that stuff, and that was all I focused on for, like, the last week.
I didn't realize Curse of Bounty was a pick, though. I'll be honest.
It was
with
all
you.
reprints.
this
I
one
don't think there was
kind
a single
of,
new card in it, in the 5 commander decks.
Yeah. I'm starting to get like stress on top of the stress from like the relentless pace, where it's like if I don't know some information or get some information wrong because there's too much to keep track of, people are gonna think I suck at my job. So like,
I don't know about that. Like, I feel
think
like
maybe-
anybody who's entrenched enough to read Magic content understands that the pace is not sufficient for.
Well, look, I think we peeled that Band-Aid off on this podcast a long time ago. We used to do set reviews for every set.
Jason makes the "there are too many sets" joke more often than sets come out.
it's
which
not
is
a
lot.
joke. It's me talking about
Yeah.
why I feel like I'm being buried. I feel like someone who's like drowning in quicksand.
You know, if you made that video, Jake, with all your free time of you drowning in Magic cards, just like hand above, like you wouldn't even need a full tub, but if you just hand it, this is how I feel with all.
That's how I
the
launched my
Magic
OnlyFans.
sets.
It's just me.
You just have your hand falling down into
Covered
the
in magic
quicksand of
cards like
Magic
Mina
cards.
Savari in
Yeah.
American Beauty.
Popping in and out as your hand goes down.
Yes, and it's just that someone comes along with another dump and just new set, new secret lair.
70 legendary creatures. Good luck, face. New set comes out in 2 weeks.
When people stop buying Magic cards and my orders start drying up, I will be worried.
Brian Canada went to Wizards of the Coast and he pissed somebody off so bad. They're like, that guy's making every EDH deck? No. Ruin that guy's life. Bankrupt him.
Well, if you
His
listen
Soul
to...
Ring budget's like my power bill every month.
No kidding, dude.
70 in a
How-
set. We used to get 70 in a year. Like 65 legendary creatures came out in 1997.
Let's talk about on the note of new cards. The most recent, I don't want to use the word drama, but some of the recent topic discussion is how these releases have been impacting eternal formats. We talked about Minsk and Boo plenty on this podcast. We're sort of back to these True Name Nemesis days here, and the current one causing trouble is taking the initiative.
Ooh.
So
do you even listen at home?
Legacy.
Do you even?
I want to play Delver Mirrors all day. I don't want to have to interact with a new ability.
Do you even know what take the initiative is? Anyway,
No.
yeah, okay, Jason, what do these cards do exactly? What does this card? What mechanic? Does
It's
this card
I
it's a
didn't know.
poor form of Monarch that works better in Legacy. You play a bunch of bears and then you draw extra cards. You did it.
You don't draw extra cards.
No, none of-
you win the game after 3 turns, effectively.
you get into the Undercity, right?
Oh yeah.
This D&D, you get a D&D card out.
How do you win the game with going through the dungeon?
One of the
The
modes
third
is
ability
Lava
that
Axe
does
you.
is take 5, deal 5 to target player as a third
Oh.
third room in the dungeon.
Well, yeah,
And then
that's
If
very
you make
good.
it to the 5th dungeon, you get a giant reanimated monster.
And the point is, all these cards. And look, let me go find the right one here. I want to make sure I get it right. But Gavin Verhey was talking about, hey, I designed this card for Commander, and I really didn't expect it to show up in Legacy. But listen to this card here, Seasoned Dungeoneer. It's a 4-mana 3/4. When it enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. Okay, this all seems fairly reasonable to me. It doesn't seem like it's going to break Legacy. Whenever you attack, target attacking cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard gains protection from creatures until end of turn. And I was reading this card and I was like, okay, well that's pretty good. You take the initiative and then you know your creatures are going to get protection. But there's another line here. It says after that, it explores. So every time you attack with one of those creature types, you get to explore, which is huge card advantage.
This is
In
wrecking the
addition
turn
to-
2 Emrakul format. Get the out of here.
Look, I hear you, man.
4-mana 3/4 is ruining the Sneak and Show Delver Mirror format. Yeah, man, I really liked using ill-gotten gains to loop a bunch of Lion's Eye diamonds in my graveyard, but I couldn't beat their fucking cleric because I had protection from...
Jason, this card gets played in the same deck as Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta tell you,
it's
like,
just,
yes,
it's
I hear
funny
you.
to me that this is a problem.
Yeah. I hear you, and you're not wrong that the turn, the Sneak and Show format, the famous, turn 0 or turn 1 Black-Red Reanimator deck from the past
Let's fight a
5 years.
15-minute counterspell battle against the counterbalanced deck.
Well, it's... So, look, I hear you when you look at Season Dungeon near, and you're like, how could this possibly a thing, blah, blah, blah. But it's just the there's so many of these initiative cards aggressively costed.
Have you ever gotten a 4th land
works.
in a legacy game? Like, not me. I don't know, man.
Well, you got your Vial. You get your Vial up to 4 easily, right? That's...
Yeah. And I think this deck also plays like Ancient Tomb and Chrome Mox.
And that's what the conversation has kind of moved on to is, well, we can keep complaining about the new cards they print, but maybe at some point it's the soul lands. Like maybe that's the problem.
When they made Handweir Battlements, they didn't know it would ruin the legacy when we played a turn 2 werewolf off of a H2 minute Chrome Mox. Suddenly, if I don't play a spell, it's a 5/5. It's unbeatable in legacy. Like, I guess I get it.
I just want to have that whole that whole moment of commander players and legacy players like suddenly joining forces and like arguing that like their Ancient Tomb / Soul Ring should be banned.
Never. Well, what if
like
Wizards
they stop
just,
like they're fist fighting in the street and then they're like, wait, it's the Tomb generic mana symbol that's causing all of this.
Can I be
and
real
they go
honest?
on an adventure to fix that
this
problem.
This discourse is why I took Twitter off my phone and like.
Oh, you made the right decision for sure.
I'm so much happier for it. Like
it's
voluntary to like read dumb thoughts from people who only understand the part of Magic they care about. Which is why I don't talk about Legacy anymore, except right now, because like my reference to Legacy is people are playing Sneak and Show. That is Legacy for me.
Jason,
it's 2014 in my head.
Yeah, dude, your Knight of the Reliquary might be okay in these decks. I'm not gonna lie.
Knight of the Reliquary is good against Sneak and Show. You would go get your Karakas. Come on.
True. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not up to date on Legacy either. I could not tell you if Sneak and Show is still a good deck.
I
don't know.
I can't imagine it is.
What if
they
Wizards
would print a tally every year if it was good in Legacy?
What if Wizards just got rid of the Soul Lands in Legacy at the same time the Rules Committee got rid of Soul Ring? Would that just solve all the problems of all Magic? No soul mana ever for anybody. My play group plays no Soul Ring. We love it.
Yeah, we had a night where we actually took those cards out of people's decks. It was called Night of Souls Betrayal. It was a good time.
You know that card's a bulk rare now?
I know lots.
Corbin, it's 2014 in his head. Don't shatter him.
It was a $20 card in 2014.
Yeah, that's when I called that and I bought a bunch for like $6, and then I was like, I'm rich, and then I found them recently.
You got rooftop stormed.
I
No
got
kidding.
I get rooftop stormed hard.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's really nothing to say about all of this except that, hey, be aware of it, right? Like, I mean, we can talk about Wizards having so many products coming down the pipeline that realistically the idea of a play design team having the resources to tackle older formats at the current pace of cards releasing.
They were making a set every 4 months when they put Felidar Guardian.
It's flat.
And
it's flatly impossible.
Right? Like,
for them, yeah.
They screwed up Felidar Guardian when they, like, that was all they were doing. Was just making Magic the Gathering sets.
To tie the knot here of two different topics, how long until play design can use AI to break a format and then balance cards before release? So like you just feed an AI a card pool and it just builds a broken deck.
Because the Magic's done at that point, because then the community will use the same AI and they'll just be like, oh, we figured out the format 15 minutes after the set released.
But like that was kind of a concern with the advent of the internet, right? Was that we used to build decks on forums that took months and months for the format to get solved, and then like formats started to get solved 3 weeks in, and they're like, "Well, Magic's done.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Well,
draft
that's what they
trackers
stopped,
for there's draft trackers for Arena now and stuff. I mean, we've kind of peeled a band-aid
See,
off
I'm not an episode of Black Mirror. I don't think technology is the enemy. I just think that the things we're going to have to do to live the lives we lived before some asshole decided that he could get $15 million by ruining something everybody liked. And then, like, it's bad forever now because of AI or whatever. Like, we just have to figure out how to live without that thing that's ruined forever, or how to use technology to, like...
Yeah, go ahead, Josh. What were you saying?
Oh, isn't that why Magic Online stopped sharing all of their...
Yes.
They used to have lots and lots of information they'd post every week, and then they stopped because it was just
because the
too much
community was
information
getting
to
too
lose.
close to calculating actual win rates. But the thing is, the data the community was working off of was flawed. So it's like it was a combination of the fact that there was more data out there than they would have preferred, but also it wasn't the even good data necessarily, right? It was the best data MTG Goldfish could scrape, which obviously had some value. But look, we live in a different time in 2022. Frank Karsten writes the metagame mentor column on Magic GG, where I write the week that was every week, and he straight up been giving worldwide win rates of decks in Pioneer regional championships, because now that everything is run through MTG Melee, all of the deck archetype information, which Wizards coverage staff makes sure before events is accurate for the ones where we're archetyping stuff, all of that's out there. All of that information is calculatable by anybody. So, you know, we, being sort of the coverage world, convinced has, like, Wizards corporate that this is, you know, we're just doing this now. So now you can go to the source, magic.gg, and get win rates from every single week from the best things. So I think we're moving in that direction, right? But I actually, the implication of AI being able to be fed a set, like, imagine they could train the AI in such a way that they fed a new set into it, and it just was like, okay, here's what 1 million iterations of decks with these cards look like, and the most winningness, and like maybe it's useful for finding the problematic cards across our, like, who knows? There's a lot of interesting things there for sure.
Or we could have it write Magic lore.
You could already do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the solution. Like,
I'd love to be able to blame the AI if someone doesn't like, oh, this author doesn't understand how to write women. It's like, a computer did it, and he read all the 50 Shades of Grey books, so...
I saw one Twitter where it's like, tell the AI, like, of a guy praying to Jesus about how to get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of a VCR or something, and it, like, it wrote, like, a 6-paragraph story about exactly that. I'm like, man, they could have done better than that, the Ixalan story, like...
Well, I think somebody posted a give me a story of a sexy Oko and Garuk fighting over the fact that they both hate shirts, and it got there. It definitely
it got there, huh?
That's low-key amazing.
It did indeed.
Everyone got there, Jason.
Decidedly.
I saw some people were sending me this stuff saying, look out for your job, Corbin. And I was like, when the AI can track down players from across 5 continents to ask them for an interview on short notice because Wizards needs an article on short notice, I'll be worried about the AI coming.
Could the AI call a new deck, is it mid-range? I don't think so.
Could the AI do that?
They've some people have tried, like, make a deck list out of this, and they're like, make a black-red aggro deck, and like, it totally did. It made a mono-red aggro deck with Sacred Foundries in it. So it's trying.
It's getting there.
Give it a few more iterations. Yeah, it can definitely make a deck.
It's actually super interesting because they did that Jeopardy episode where, like, Deep Blue just spanked those people, but the questions it got wrong were fascinating.
But also,
like,
just to be clear,
this guy who has rich parents was like Slytherin's most antagonistic person, like Harry Potter, because it just Googled Slytherin and all this stuff, and every response said Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So the number one response, every post about Draco Malfoy is going to have the name Harry Potter in it. So
I'm going to be honest.
That's why
with
it
you.
said that, and I thought that was
yeah.
really fascinating. So as much as it still kind of sucks right now, because it's just like I displayed the top Google search. But
that was a long time ago. Those Jeopardy games you're talking about, though, I guarantee you, it's come a long way since then.
Oh, if Google's working on it every day, yeah, for sure. They're doing. They stopped. They stopped having
And
"Don't be
yeah.
evil" as their slogan, so I got a feeling there's like some sort of like Snowpiercer thing where they're like, we made a machine, but we need children's small hands to function it, but it's a very good AI. But we need the dials turned by little children who get crushed by the machinery. But
somebody
femtosecond calculations though.
You know there are people out there, right? Like the people at 17 Lands who do a lot of this crunching for Arena. There are some very, very smart AI tinkerers out there. I mean, it's obviously going to impact card games in general. I think maybe more than most gaming. I don't know. I think that what DJ said there about like using AI to try to weed out a format, not necessarily finding but just trying to find information that becomes valuable to either the design team or
just
the community.
To
That's
crunch
gonna
out
happen.
your matchups though. If you can have an AI simulate like matchups versus everything in the known format, he's like, oh, this beats that 63% of the time. That's good to know.
So what's interesting is that data all does have value to players. But for instance, I'll say that talking to like world championship competitors, for instance, they get nearly nothing out of playing Arena ladder, even in Mythic, for limited or constructed.
Wow.
They say that the field of that versus the field at a high level Pro Tour or a world championship sort of thing, that testing is almost useless to them. So it's interesting that there's all this stuff, right? But it's only as good as what you feed into it. And if you're feeding mediocre players into it, and like you said, garbage in, garbage out. Speaking of garbage, it's time for
MTG
the
stocks
opposite
is
of that.
Jesus, Corbin. Wow, the next thing on the show notes, MTG stocks pitch, and that's how speaking of garbage. Corbin, MTG stocks is not garbage. And speaking of garbage in, garbage out, good data in, good data out. MTG stocks is scraping the best finance data from all your favorite aggregating sites on the web and plotting everything. You like reading every single week where Peter talks about how the cards went up, cards went down, and explanations for that. Great article series on that site. Analytical tools. We have been using the user account, the advanced user accounts. For years, and it's fantastic. It's the best site, the best source for your MTG stocks, your prices. It's fantastic. So, I disagree with Corbin. I don't think MTG stocks is garbage, and they are the proud.
Thank you for clarifying your position.
They are the proud sponsor of this podcast, and we love working with MTG stocks, and they're fantastic data. Good data in, good data out. Gedigated. Right? It's not Geigo, it's Gedigo. Anyway, that'll be
right
the name
there,
of a
Jason,
Magic card soon, I'm sure. So we'll know how to pronounce it.
It already is, Jason. It came out 2 weeks ago, 4 sets ago.
I don't know if I like.
No, if I'm joking, you don't know if I'm joking.
I don't.
That's the truth.
I'm gonna play Jumpstart with my daughter. That's like I'm done with it.
I will say that anybody who had a premium account and put Seasoned Dungeoneer on their text alert to see when it went from 35 cents to 80 cents, probably had a chance to buy some of them before it went to $6.
Absolutely correct. Okay, well,
if something doubles, that's significant. Should flag that.
And that is what we use for all of our picks of the week, coming courtesy of MTG Stocks.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
And I'm going to start things out with a real wide, high-level DJ type pick here. Because I'll recall a few weeks ago, and look, there's nothing wrong with this pick. It's a good pick. DJ said, get gold-bordered pre-modern staples. I have in parentheses, reserve list. So, in that vein, I'm going to say...
What is a gold-bordered pre-modern staple? Is that like 11 cards? Like Pernicious Deed and Vindicate? Like, what are you talking about?
Survival of the Fittest is like one of the big ones.
That's green.
What?
Did you say multicolored?
God. Oh, my God.
What? I'm not being a dick. Did I misunderstand what he said? He said multicolored.
Gold border.
He said gold bordered, which means
gold
World Championship
border.
cards.
The championship cards.
Gold edged.
So you weren't making a joke.
I'm in embarrassingly sober right now. I am mortified at how sober I was making that mistake. Gold border, gotcha. All right.
Great. Well, let's. I'm going to start things off with a nice wide one. Brothers War schematic cards. I love these. I think they're cool.
Didn't one of us like make this exact pick also last week or the week before?
Man, they're so cheap and they all look so cool.
I think
gold border stuff. Oh,
look,
yeah.
I'm looking at the pick of the week list.
I think Jason mentioned this exact like follow up to my
Listen,
pick
man,
last
I'm
week.
not even mad at it because it's 2 chances for people to be like, "Oh, sick! These Ashnod's altars look absolutely baller." Some of this
all the
stuff looks so
schematic
good.
cards are cool.
And just buy singles, don't buy packs. The sets just.
I had
a very, very bad night busting a case of this set. I left the other case sealed. That's how little fun I had busting a case of.
Oh, really? That kind of sucks. I kind of wanted to get one.
So
it would be fun. Listen, once my daughter can play like Jumpstart,
I understand. Yeah,
it's fun to open packs by playing Pack Wars or something like that. But just like opening packs, be like, I gotta put this in the case at the LGS. It was a bummer opening this set.
So I was kind of high on these, but I've had some time to think about them, and I'm wondering if these are not in the same boat as Modern Horizons 2 fetch lands, where a lot of people said to buy fetch lands, like buy Scalding Tarn at $20, and now it is less than $20 because Modern Horizons 2 just keeps getting opened. There's so much of this product out there, and I think Brothers War might be the same boat where we've been trained with this heuristic to just watch these staples go back up over time and time again.
Yeah.
But like maybe
you're right.
Maybe this is like a 3-year plan on Astronaut's Altar and there's a million better places to put your money.
You're right about some of like that is certainly a viable thing. I'm looking at the graph on Scalding Tarn.
You think people are going to open Brothers War forever like they open MH2 though?
No, but I think a lot of Brothers War has been opened comparatively because there's
but another
cards.
set's out already. Brothers War is in the past. It's gone. It's big Dominaria United hours now.
But it has a unique function in it, and that is the serialized card. Like, people are still opening...
And the Transformers.
Exactly. Like, people are still opening Kamigawa. I still sell Kamigawa collector boosters, still. Because they have cool, unique things. Mm-hmm. People chase the Hidetsugu. People chase, like, the crazy art stuff. Like, when there's really, really cool stuff in packs, people still chase it. Even if it's a year old.
I think that's why I was really high on the Dominaria United collector boosters, and I got a bunch of boxes of it to both open and keep sealed. Is because I feel like people feel that way about the.
I don't think the Legends cards are
the
cool.
Legends
I'm sorry,
cards.
I don't.
Look, it's not even about the. At the time, we didn't know.
It is no Time Spiral Remastered. Based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you get to relitigate underbuying Time Spiral Remastered by doubling down on this set. I think that's a bad way to go.
Yeah, look, in terms of Dominaria United Collector, at the time I thought, this was a super special thing. And then right off the heels of that, we've had M30 and, we're probably going to have more of these remastered older sets. So, maybe the logic that led to that won't hold up. But at the same time, I mean... If people are buying to try to chase $1,000 Hidetsugu, an unplayable card, I don't feel too terrible about sealed Legends cards in any fashion.
Well, I don't know, man. I still have
we'll see.
I have Commander Legends collector boosters, and I just keep watching those boxes go up. So,
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's what I've got. Jason, what do you have this week?
Maronar.
Oh,
Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm is a rat. And Maronar is a $10 rat. It's too cheap for Maronar. It's got 2.5 printings. I don't consider the list of printing. There's just no copies of this card. Nobody. Kamigawa was
Champions of Kamigawa, right?
Champions. People hated Kami Block at the time, and just all the stuff's expensive because they didn't open a ton of it. And Maronar's it's a rat. It's good. There's a rat warlock called Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm, and it cares about your rats. But everything else that is a cool rat card has been reprinted in absolute powder, and I don't understand why that didn't happen with Maronar. Like, hey, Ogre Slumlord, this card rules. I bet this will not be 26 cents with 4 printings in 3 years. Pack Rat, yeah, that's a great card. So it's like Piper the Swarm, 2 printings, bulk rare, like all this stuff. Like Species Specialist is probably the most expensive rat in the whole deck. It's not even a rat. So everything is just getting printed so much. But Maronar, it does have reprintings, but they're super weird reprintings, right? You got the mystery booster / the list. You got champions. You got the weird secret layer, and then you have that weird like French white bordered set. They get Maronars from. That's like it. So there's, when you think about it, there's like basically Champions of Kamigawa type supply on this $10 rat that has flirted with $20 multiple times in the past. This seems like a slam dunk, and if you don't like it, look at the price of Thrumming Stone. Not all of Thrumming Stone's price was based on scarcity. I think a $2 Thrumming Stone's kind of messed up in this day and age. When they are giving us, every calendar year, we get a new Persistent Petitioners type card. So, I don't know, man. That's a bonus pick.
Thrumming Stone just doesn't work in Commander outside of the things you mentioned.
Outside of the many
Listen,
decks that
we're not there yet. Well, look, but like, I don't know. We don't need to get deep into this, but like, isn't like your Rat Colony deck like fun to play once or whatever? I don't know. That's just my thought on it. But I do kind of feel like at some point they're going to lean more into that in Commander, and you'll have a Commander that'll pop Thrumming Stone for sure.
People are apparently playing Thrumming Stone in Ken Burning Brawler, so I don't know why that is, but
Dragonstorm?
Yeah, probably Dragon's
Approach.
Dragon's Approach, yeah.
Dragon's Approach, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sweet in a Ken deck.
Yeah, that's probably it. All right, DJ, what are you looking at?
I also have kind of more than one card. Kind of, but also not really.
Okay.
What are you laughing about?
No, man, that's great. Kind of, but not really. I can't wait to hear what kind of, but not really is.
I'm gonna explain my pick, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's exactly what he means. That makes sense." So
I like how long it's taken to get to the pick. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, I'm milking the podcast, baby.
Do you say milk?
Milking the podcast. I actually think he said milk, though. Yeah,
I heard milk.
He's milking it.
That must be a New York thing.
A couple secret layers announced somewhat recently over the past week. There's the December Super Drop or the Ultra Mega Drop, whatever they call it. There are plenty of secret layer options in this one. A lot of Transformers stuff. An artist series with Alexi Bricklot.
I think it's French. It might be like Bricklow or something. I don't know exactly what it is.
The Meaning of Life, maybe. The Art of Frank Frazetta. That's a big name that is a thing, apparently. There's 2 secret layers that I'm focusing on in this one, though. The first is the Just Add Milk.
Yep.
That one has Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, which is a $50+ card. The second one is the Optimus Prime versus Megatron, which has Blightsteel Colossus, which is also a very expensive card. These 2 secret layers have clearly a lot of value in them individually. I'm not super high on the bundle for this one, but I would be interested in getting a lot of the Optimus Prime or these Just Add Milk secret layers because they have just raw value in them. They have notably powerful cards, and the rest of the cards are just kind of a free roll. Like, yeah, Atali's been reprinted a million times, Galti's been reprinted a million times, but you're spending $30 plus tax, and you're getting an Ulamog Ceaseless Hunger.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. And I also, these whatever secret layer drops, since they're on sale for a limited time, it doesn't necessarily crater the value of the cards in it, because it's not like 6 months from now, your $50 secret layer card that was in a $30 secret layer, you can just go get for $30 unless
it's hard to know on this scale because we haven't really gotten these are 2 of the biggest reprints we've ever gotten inside a $30 secret layer. The precedent for this is the Dragon, which was forever ago. It was one of the first secret layers ever. And that one's clearly still worth a lot of money. So maybe when 1 million people order this Optimus Prime layer, maybe Blightsteel drops to 30. But even then, you're spending $30 and getting a $30 hypothetical Blightsteel, and then a Darksteel Colossus, and then a doubling cube, and then a bonus card. So, like,
yep.
Which I think it's Command Tower.
Yes.
I think it's been revealed as Command Tower.
which is whatever. Command Tower is just very whatever. But
That's fine.
I like the Optimus Prime one more than the Ulamog one. Also because Transformers is just such a huge intellectual property. Yeah, I like both of these secret layers, and that is what I mean by kind of one card, but kind of not really, Corbin.
Understood. You're right. It did make sense. Just to wit, the Ur-Dragon from the secret layer is it's an $80 card. So there's definitely a way for these cards to go back up after. And that thing started at $10 when it was printed. Yeah, we've seen some growth on at least some secret layers. All right, Josh, did you want to get in on this week?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to take a broader view on a specific set. I think Modern Horizons 2. Basically, I bought a bunch of it. I have a bunch of it sitting around, and I've just steadily watched the prices go down and down and down, which isn't great. But at the same time, I knew that a lot of the cards are really popular, and they'll go up eventually. And I just saw kind of an inflection point in the Modern Horizons 2 set box price. Mm-hmm. If you look in TCG Player, you'll see that they have finally. Who knows? There might be more coming. I haven't seen like a notification or any rumors that we're done. This is the last of them. We're not going to see any more. The distributors have said that this is the last call. I haven't seen that yet. It may have happened. I just haven't heard about it. So who knows? There might be more Modern Horizons coming out. I would be surprised because you have the Lord of the Rings Modern Horizons 3 set coming this summer. So you'd think they would have ceased printing on it. But if that's true, if we have finally gotten out of the infinite print run of Modern Horizons 2, I think we're set to finally see some appreciation. Because if the set boxes are going up, I would expect that eventually you're going to see some appreciation within the singles themselves, which might make kind of like a snowball effect. Because the set is just chock full of amazing cards and tons of value. Mm-hmm. There's just so goddamn much of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking just while we're on the topic of Modern Horizons 2, the most expensive cards in Modern continue to be Modern Horizons 2 cards. And, your top cards list in Modern continues to just be things printed in the last 2 years. And I understand we've been saying that for 2 years, and it's still how it goes. So,
and I don't think that
the third set, well, just that Modern Horizons 3 set is going to be very interesting. And if it is, you said that's what the Lord of the Rings set is?
Well, it's modern only. It's modern legal and up.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that if they're going to do that and they're going to be introducing new cards, they're going to be targeting a Modern Horizons power level. Yeah. I think it'll undershoot it just because they usually do. I mean, I haven't seen any unique any of the Universes Beyond stuff that's been just like game breaking. I mean, Warhammer 40K had some fun, cool cards, but nothing that just blew the door off the hinges. And I think that if they're going to make that set, they're not going to be using the really powerful set designs for the set because the IP is going to sell it for them, so they don't need to, blow off the power level. So I think that Modern Horizons 2 is probably going to be the peak of the Modern Horizons product cycle until Modern Horizons 4, if they ever make that, if that's not some other IP attached to it. So I'm not expecting Modern Horizons 3 to be just super powerful. I could be wrong, obviously, but were I determining, set designs, I would let the IP carry it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to read the top creatures in Modern right now. Ragavan, Fury, Subtlety, Endurance, Dragon's Rage Channeler. Top 5, all Modern Horizons. Number 6 is Ledger Shredder. Number 7 is Magus of the Moon. 8, Sanctifier and Vec. Torok, Dread Cantor. Number 9, Murktide. Number 10. So, I asked that because if Modern Horizons 3 came along, was the same power level as Modern Horizons 2, and all the cards were Lord of the Rings, am I going to go look at the metagame page of Modern 2 years from now, and it's going to be Aragorn? Do we have the Fellowship as the top 9 played creatures?
That makes it so much harder for the AI to write a deck list.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And then Gandalf started kissing Harry Potter, and wait, what? I'm hearing.
And then Ryu showed up.
Oh no, we only fed it DJ's wife's fan fiction.
Yeah, we've got some interesting times ahead, that's for sure. Hey, I love Lord of the Rings. Bring it on. All right, before we get out of here, Josh, remind people where they can find you across the internet and how they can support original magic art and artists across the game.
Sure. I'm on Twitter at Original MTG Art. I also run and own the Original Magic Art store. You can go originalmagicart.store or originalmagicart.com. If you are a fan of, if you want to support Brew Crew while you're making your purchases, support Brainstorm Brewery. But when you're making your purchases, you can use the code Brew Crew, and that benefits the show and saves you 10% on your order. And I have the Kickstarter running right now. It's running till December 17th for Victor Adams Minguez. And next year, I have some amazing projects coming, new products, lots of different stuff. We have new stuff in the store. We have a limited edition prints that we just started up that we're going to be introducing more of those soon. We just released Justine Jones. You were talking about the Dragon. She's the artist that did the Dragon. She did new to life tokens. Jennifer Meyer, she did one of the My Little Pony promos. Got some really cute tokens there, and always adding new artists. We just added Steve Prescott and Chuck Lucas, and so always adding new stuff there. So tons of new stuff. And if you ever wanted to see what my my art collection looks like, you can go to Cube Cobra and find the OMA Cube, and you can see all the cards that I have original art for. That's what the art cube is my little baby. It's what I collect.
That sounds
that's why I'm going after.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty cool.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get drafted sometime in person.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was always great to have you on. We always appreciate both having you here and for everything you do in the community. So everybody, thank you for listening at home. Thanks to Josh for coming on. Thanks for DJ and Jason for hanging out with me. As always, we'll see you next week on Brainstorm Brewery.
Hanging out with, or you're psyched?
Hanging out.
Hanging out. You're hanging out with us. You are on this podcast because DJ and I suffer you to be on this podcast. Never forget that.